Hello and welcome to our weekly live chat, Hello America's What's Cooking. You can find us live every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern here at the ICCA World Facebook page. And we have every week a lovely guest with us. And today it's a great pleasure to actually welcome my colleague from the East Coast, Monica Pataki. Hello, Monica. Lovely to have you.
Hello, Senia. What a pleasure. This is really nice, and it gives us a chance to just open up and casually chat with our guests and amongst each other than focusing on making sure our projects are meeting the deadline on a particular day or time. So this is great. They gave us that opportunity to do a little break between since we started this whole thing.
And you are diving right into it. We've had quite a few guests and destinations represented. But before we give a little bit of a highlight and also the insights, how we got about doing the show, share a little bit about yourself. Monica has been with ICCA for 14 years, I believe. So let us know how you got to ICCA and being part of the team.
Well, I'm not going to go through the whole many years in the different industries, but I always linked to the tourism industry. I was born in Argentina. My parents moved to the United States. And as soon as we got here, my very first job and opportunity was to learn how to be a tour guide in New York City. And a friend of a friend offered me a position as a tour guide for Spanish-speaking groups coming from Spain in the New York City metro area. And then I went on to Washington, D.C. area. I loved it. What can I tell you? I fell in love with the travel. And I'm sure anybody that is in our type of industry, or any industry, any position, as long as you enjoy what you are doing, it doesn't matter if you work 20 plus hours a day. You're enjoying and you put your passion to it. And anyway, from then on, I moved into several different areas. In the year 2000 or 2000, I worked for a company, a tour operator. And I had the pleasure to be part of and have both the passions that I love, which is arts and entertainment and travel. So I was a tour director for a tour company, and I was bringing orchestras, dance companies, and choirs to perform overseas. So that was the best combination, I have to say. Then, of course, 9/11 came around and everything stopped for quite a while. And the next step for me was from then on, I was teaching at the local college at Mercer County Community College. I was teaching how to use the tools for Sabre, Amadeus. If anybody that is in it's a tour travel agency, they know. And then I moved on, and I was additionally also an adjunct teacher ESL, Spanish as a second language. Within that period, I coincidentally met and I took a class for the meeting industry where I met my prior colleague, Joanne Johan, and the rest is history. And then I went on board with Joanne, and now I am so happy as well to be with you, and I've been with ICCA ever since then. Yep, that's my story. I want to hear your story, Senia.
I'm going to get to it straight away, but I see Steve is delighted that today is Moni's History Day. And I also want to share what Glenn is sharing. Did you know that today marks 4 months till the ICCA Congress in Cartagena? No, Glenn, we did not know. And thank you pointing that out. That's really great information. So we are counting down from today onwards. My story with within the industry is ICCA, and ICCA, because I've been with ICCA 24 years. So working in our head office for 17 years, moving to Portland, Oregon, doing association relations for 7, and then as of January, I've taken on the role of ICCA North American director, and it's been quite a ride, and it's been super exciting. And I have to say, the 6 months we have been in feels a little bit like 6 years, because we've done so much, right?
Absolutely. That was going to be my question for you. It's like, how do you feel within 6 months? But I agree with you. It feels like it's 6 years, but a total new experience in a way of how did we have to handle and all the different challenges that we were presented with. Correct, Senia?
Absolutely. And I see that Steve agrees with us as well, that it has been quite a ride and quite full. The pandemic has definitely showcased that we have to think outside the box and come up with new initiatives. Hello Americas being one of them. And they are this show is actually a product of one of our working groups. So when I first started, we realized together with our chapter leadership that it's quite tough to do everything on your own. So we reached out. We created 4 working groups. One of them is our working group for membership in value and communication. And one of their things as a top priority was, how can we really communicate bite-sized information to our members? So we brainstormed and came up with this concept of Hello America's What's Cooking, which really I think has taken off. And we've had a number of really great guests and destinations in the studio with us. Moni, any highlights, anything you really want to share? What struck you as worth mentioning?
I think, well, there is a lot to be worth mentioning within all the sessions that we had, and due to obvious lack of time, we cannot go. But I have to say, number one is the readiness, the collaboration, and the volunteer of everyone who was involved in taking part in the Hello America's What's Cooking. Not just the part of being within the live show, but also as of thank you, Glenn, and thank you, Steve, our loyal fans that they had. Whenever they get a chance, they're always with us. And that's, first of all, appreciated immensely, and also volunteering their times to be part of the groups. Some of the many highlights, I can say that, for example, speaking with different members from Mexico, was the fact that every region is different within the country. And yet, how did they persevere and how did they move forward? Well, yes, we are in a horrible pandemic and we are all trying to push forward. It's sort of, it is said somewhere that a river cuts through the rock, not because of its strength, but it's the perseverance. And the show of strength within different Mexican regions and putting together the face-to-face meetings that in many parts of the world we had to totally shut down, but they were able to make it happen safely and still keeping the industry moving towards a better future. And like you say many times, Senia, looking towards that light at the end of the tunnel.
Absolutely. And I have to echo your thanks to Glenn and Steve, who are, yes, they are our What's Cooking groupies, but they are also so supportive. It's such a pleasure to work with you guys, and thank you for even being one of our guest interviewers here on the show last week and the week before. You guys rock and are really amazing to work with, and I can only wish any association to have such support from their volunteer leaders like we have in Steve and Glenn. I also want to share just some highlights from my end. I really loved the stories from Mexico and their perseverance, but I also liked our stories from our Canadian members and destinations who have been in a much tougher position, but have been very innovative and are working towards the future. So I think that really deserves a lot of recognition, as well as our last week, our Hawaiian member was really amazing in how much they have invested in really trying to get face-to-face meetings back. And talking about meetings, I just want to share a little bit more of what we have been doing as ICCA North America and also what's in store for us. So one of the working groups was events and education, and they have worked tirelessly on two of our summits, the US Summit and Canada Summit, and whoever has not been able to be part of it, please reach out. We have links to watch the Mexico Summit, and we also have outcomes from the two summits, so we are very much willing to share those. And we are preparing our Canada Summit for the 24th of August. So we are calling everybody, not only ICCA North American members, but also any members who are watching this, to look out for the dates and the call and register to join us, because that program is promising to be super, super fun. We are just finalizing it, and within the beginning of July, we will be opening registration. So please look out for it. And definitely look out for the Congress. As Glenn was already saying, it's counting down in 4 months' time. We are in Cartagena. So that program is shaping up nicely as well. And we are also planning something for the end of the year in collaboration with our Latin American members. So please be on the lookout. And we will also be launching also a product of our working group for membership value and communication, bite-sized messaging to our North American members every Monday, and we'll call them Member Monday updates. So look out for that. As soon as we launch them, we probably will be taking even a break with the What's Cooking show in summer, for everybody to have the opportunity to go, relax, unwind, and also watch the shows we've had so far. And then we'll be back after the Canada Summit. Monica, anything else to share from your end? Because we've had a lot of excitement with the statistics being launched. Absolutely. You're doing lots of sessions for members. How can they get in touch with you? What's new?
Absolutely. I mean, first of all, one of the major tools that we had added an additional analytic layer was the destination comparison tool, which that's where in the past years, from 1963 to 2019, that's where the ranking of the destination was listed, etc. Adding this additional layer because obviously of the pandemic. Now we can see the components of, in the sense of what meetings were postponed, canceled, went hybrid, went virtual. So it is an incredible tool that, of course, it'll be my pleasure to anybody who is available and who would like to. Xenia just added my email address. Let me know. We can go through it. And ICCA, that's part of ICCA benefits. I want all of our members to take advantage of these benefits. Surprisingly, you would get so much additional information that it'll help you for your potential business in the future. And in the same token, is helping all of our industry, and we are all in it together. I know it's like a cliche kind of phrase, but all together we can move forward and help our industry grow back again and get back on its feet. So that's, yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So as Monica mentioned, you are welcome to reach out to her. And here is her email again. If you want to book a session, it is part of a member service. So please feel free to reach out and get fully up to date on what's new and what's cooking in our EQ database.
Yeah.
Talking about what's cooking. Do you have a favorite recipe you want to share, which is easy?
I do. It's easy, and I actually is the similar the tiramisu version, but the Argentinian one, which is called borrachito. I know that's a long word, and it's very simple. You need lady fingers, you need a sweet wine, you need whipping cream, and you also will need a package of Spanish flan, the instant package. Is 1, 2, 3. You dip the lady fingers in the sweet wine, and you layer them in a glass bottom casserole, and you do 2 layers. On the other hand, you cook your flan, and once it's completed, you pour it over the lady fingers, let it rest for at least 3 hours in the refrigerator, and then you just do the whipping cream. You cream on top with walnuts, and it's absolutely delicioso, delicious. That's my recipe of the day. I hope one day I can share it in person with a lot of you.
I am hoping so too. It sounds super delicious, and I see we have fans, more groupies and fans in our audience today. Thanks, Rahul, for your lovely messages, and also Alejandra. Thank you so much for joining us from the Mexican Caribbean, and for your lovely sentiments. And you have to now make that and ship it off to Steve, because he has deserved to eat it. And I think it must be a North American team thing about the desserts. I also have a dessert to share, which is Dutch apple pie. Very simple. Take 4 to 5 Granny Smith apples, cut them really, slice them very thinly, pour 1 spoon of sugar, pour it into your dish with pie crust underneath, and then make 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of flour, 3/4 of a cup of melted butter, 1 egg, and a little bit of cinnamon. And then you pour the mixture on top, put the pie crust on top, and bake on 375 for 40 minutes. And it will be super delicious to be served with vanilla ice cream and whipped cream. So I'm hoping we will be able to cook that for all of our North American friends and global friends who are watching every Thursday. It's been a real pleasure to have you all. Next week, we are having again a guest from Mexico, from Cincinnati. Her name is Perla, right, Monica?
Yes.
Perla. And for anybody who wants to join us as a guest, please feel free to email me at xenia.p@ecoworld.org, and we'll be happy to add you to the list. In the meantime, that was it from us today. Thank you all for joining. And Glenn just said he gained 3 pounds purely from listening. Yes, I know. We have a sweet tooth, especially developed in the pandemic. But that's all from us for today. Hope you enjoyed it. And thank you so much, Moni, for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, everyone.